What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm the Duck Quack here, and welcome back to another episode of How Much. So in this episode, we are going to focus solely on one-to-watch cards. Now, the reason we're doing this again is because the market is still in turmoil over FUT birthday. High-rated cards are way too high at the moment, so they need to come back down before we can invest. Inform prices are all over the place because of these premium SBCs and because of the Team of the Week SBCs. And as you can see, although people say one-to-watch trading is dead, one-to-watch trading is far from dead. There is so much money to be made on it, just like there was with all of these high-rated cards as well. So what I'm going to do firstly is I'm going to pick up as many Niangs as I can. Now, I'm going to show you guys how much I'm spending on them, just to make sure you guys don't overspend on them. I'm happy to spend anywhere up to about 25,000 coins for Niangs, and I'm going to be buying every single one of them that I can for that price. Now, the reason for this is he's already got a goal and an assist to his name. Now, if he does absolutely anything in the match against, I can't even remember who they're playing. It might be West Brom, possibly. But if he does absolutely anything against them, then he's going to be pretty much nailed on for a Team of the Week card, just like Morata was when he played. Now, the reason that I'm picking up so many of him at this price is because it's still fairly low as to what he'll go with hype. Now, with one-to-watch cards, we have to remember as well that a lot of the hype around them died down when these special cards were released and FUT birthday events kicked off and all of this malarkey happened. Now, the reason that all of the hype around them died down when this happened was because there were other things that were distracting people, things that people found more pressing, things that people found more interesting. But as it stands, one-to-watch cards are definitely coming back into fashion. And as you can see, with the Maratas, he was selling for about 34,000 coins. Then he has one good game where he scores 2 goals, and his price over doubles. So it goes up about 150% above what he was selling for beforehand. And now, the same happened with Mustafi. He scored in a 2-all draw, and his price was almost maximum price before he actually got announced in the Team of the Week, and then his price plummeted, as always happens, which is why you want to sell your investments beforehand. Now, you can always be a little bit more greedy and wait a little bit longer, closer to the deadline before you sell, but you always want to play it safe as well. You don't want to go over the top and play it too greedy and completely miss out on something. Now, what I'm doing with these Niangs is definitely not safe. The reason being is if other wingers have a bigger game than he's had and he doesn't show up on the weekend, then there is a good chance that he doesn't get a Team of the Week card. But when you're investing, you have to take risks and you have to take chances. Worst case scenario with these Niangs, I'm going to lose about 5k a card. If I pick up maybe, let's say I pick up 100 of them, which I'm going to try and do. If I pick up 100 of them and I lose 5k each card, yes, I'm going to lose 500k. But if it comes in, then I'm going to make millions of coins, like literally millions of coins. That's the risk you've got to take when you make investments, to be honest with you. Sometimes your investments aren't going to pay off. Sometimes they're going to pay off absolutely massively. And that's what we're doing here with the Niangs. Now, what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at safer one-to-watch investments, and we're also going to look at some riskier one-to-watch investments. So we're going to cover every single possible angle we can. We're going to look at the likes of Gabbiadini, who's been out injured, but the manager's been speaking about a potential return. We're going to look at the likes of Morata and discuss whether his price starts to drop over the weekend, if we could find another chance to invest in him when he does drop. We're going to obviously look at Niang and speak about him in a little bit more depth. We're going to look at the likes of Payet, so other defenders as well, just in case they have a big game. They've plummeted in price. They're so low at the moment, and we can still make profit investing in them while they're this low. I missed out on Niang. He was about 23,000, I think, the other day, maybe a day or so ago, but all my coins were obviously tied up with Morata, so there wasn't a lot I could do with him then. But for now, we're good to go. We're good to invest. So I'm going to send all of these to the transfer list for myself. And then we're going to get into talking about other potential one-to-watch cards that we could be investing in. Now, when you guys do it, just make sure that you're happy with the investments you make. Make sure that you believe that there's a chance that they could get a Team of the Week. Don't just invest in them because I say that it's a good plan or something like that. You guys have to believe in it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about them straight away now. And I'm going to get a list up and go through them all with you guys. Right, guys, so I thought it only made sense if we start with Niang. Now, Niang, midweek, he scores a goal and assist to help his team to a win, the biggest performance he's had by a country mile. That alone puts him in a chance with Team of the Week contention. On the weekend, he's got the early kickoff match against Tottenham. Now, this is an extremely tough match for him, especially with the way Tottenham have been playing recently without Harry Kane. But with them lacking that attacking threat and Niang's pace, there is a chance he bags himself a goal. Even if he scores and they go on to lose, that helps him in his cause for a team of the week. That puts him at 2 goals, 1 assist, a goal and a loss, and a vital goal and a win. Those kind of stats mean something when the team of the week is discussed, and that alone could give him a huge chance of making it. This could be his last chance, and I'm sure EA are going to be slightly biased towards one-to-watch cards because they want people to be excited for them next year when it comes around and they're released into packs again. Okay, guys, the next players we're going to look at are going to be Dimitri Payet and Sanson, both players from Marseille. Now, Marseille's next game is against mid-table team Toulouse. Now, there's a good chance that one of them could have a big performance here, and an inform could finally come. Now, Payet is currently going for 60,000 on Xbox, 71,000 coins on PlayStation, and Sanson is currently going for under 20,000 coins on Xbox, and about 26,000 coins on PlayStation at the moment. Now, Sanson himself has never been this low before, and I don't understand why he is quite as low as he is. He normally goes to up about 30-ish thousand before a match. And the reason for this is, just look at his stats. I've mentioned this before. If he were to get an inform, then these stats would all shoot to over 80 most likely. He'd be an absolute beast for the Ligue 1. He'd be basically a 9-gallon in Ligue 1. There's no other players that similar to him. Yes, there's Matuidi, who's absolutely fantastic. But apart from Matuidi, who else are you going to play as like a holding player? The same goes for Payet. He's actually found his form for Marseille finally. So Payet is starting to get a couple of goals here and there. He's very close to an inform on a couple of occasions. But all we need them to do is score. All we need them to do is really start, because people's attention will come back to one-to-watch cards now that FUT Birthday's out the window. So if they're starting at the very least, then there's going to be hype around them. Either way, guys, I feel like there's going to be an inform for Marseille before the end of the season. And with the likes of Payet and Sanson's prices being an all-time low, basically, it's still a good chance to invest. There may be better options out there than Payet, but personally, I've never seen Sanson quite so low. Right, guys, so the next card we're going to look at is going to be one-to-watch Jovetic. Now, Jovetic is currently 46,000 coins on PlayStation and around 40,000 coins on Xbox. Seville have got a game against pretty much relegation fighting Deportivo La Coruna on the weekend, and if he were to start, which he more than likely is, and just score a couple of goals, which he's more than capable of doing, he could bag himself an 86 rated inform card, which is probably going to be the highest he's going to get this season. Now, it's going to not be worth a lot more than the inform card, but we're going to make money off hype alone. And that's why all of these one-to-watch cards are just such a good investment at the moment. It's literally the easiest money. Sell on hype. The hype's going to kick back in now everyone's given up with FUT Birthday, and we're going to be able to make money again. Jovetic having a fairly easy game. A big game for the team, obviously, but fairly easy for Jovetic. He could find himself scoring a couple, and we could find ourselves profiting. Right, guys, so we get on to one-to-watch Gabbiadini. Now, one-to-watch Gabbiadini is a bit of a funny one at the moment. His boss says that he's out at the moment, but he could very well be back for the next game. Whereas, if he's not, he'll be back to face Man City. Now, he was on fire before he left. Even against Man City, I could see him scoring a couple of goals. He's 55,000 coins on Xbox at the moment, the lowest he's ever been by a mile. And on PlayStation, he's 70,000 coins, still extremely cheap. If this guy were to get another inform card, it would be massively desirable and would easily breach 100,000 coins, in my opinion, the one-to-watch card. Easily. And we have a chance to invest for a stupidly cheap price here at the moment. Whether you want to take that risk is up to you guys. But what I'd be doing is checking out news sources, seeing what the likelihood of him starting is. If he starts, the hype alone should raise him 20,000 coins and you'll make a profit. If he's not back and he's back against Man City or whatever, then you leave it a little bit more risky, coming closer to the end of the season. Not all investments are super safe. Some come with a larger risk, but a larger reward. This is one of those cards. Okay, guys, so the next card we're going to look at is going to be Bailly, the centre-back for Manchester United. Now, we've seen in recent weeks that this guy doesn't need to do anything. If he has a fairly strong game, holds down the back line, there's a good chance that Foothead are going to put him in the predictions and the hype is going to rise alone. On Xbox, you can pick this guy up for about 35,000 coins, probably cheaper if you're bidding. On PlayStation, he's a little bit more, around 50,000 coins, but on both consoles, there is definitely potential for him. If he does have a strong game, which he's more than capable of doing, and he's more than likely going to start as well, then he's going to be off to a flyer. All you need is hype with these cards, guys. Just remember that hype does all of your work for you. You literally have to do nothing else. I'm not going to go into too many other players in detail, but we're just going to mention some others that have a good potential of a good game. So we'll start with the likes of Morgan Schneiderlin. He's been extremely solid for Everton recently. If he goes on to have another big game for them on the weekend, all he needs to do is score or something like that. His price goes through the roof. The same with the likes of Sacco. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, seeing him go across there and do well is brilliant. But what does this kid have to do in order to receive an inform? He's been absolutely astounding so far, yet every single game someone pips him to the post. It's got to be coming in the pipeline sooner or later, as and when though is the guess that we're all going to be making. You've obviously got Draxler. His price has dropped quite a lot recently, but PSG have some pretty tight fixtures coming up. They're also still competing, well, they've pretty much got the league wrapped up, but they're still wanting to clear it by as far as they can. Draxler will make the starting lineup, but if he'll be scoring goals and taking more shots than usual, that's something that's a little bit debatable. We've also got Jesus, so there's a chance he'll come back from injury. If he does come back, hype alone will massively increase his price, but again, this is another very, very risky one. Personally, it's one that I don't want to take the risk on just because it could easily go the wrong way and then his price could just plummet coming up towards team of the season and then you're miles out of coins, which is never good for anyone else. You've got Guedes, another big PSG player. Will he get the game time though? Well, if he does get the game time, you can pick him up for about 15,000 coins, if not cheaper, on both consoles. Not a lot of risk involved with this guy, and all you need for him to do is start. To be honest, if you haven't got many coins and you want a big risk, big reward kind of gamble, Guedes is probably your man. He's cheap, he's got a chance of starting, and he's a youngster. He could do anything. The last player we'll mention is going to be Renato Sanchez. Now, he did get a start the other evening, but the problem is, going forward, Bayern Munich, they've got some tough games coming up, and they haven't completely wrapped up the league yet. It's still pretty tight up there. They've got, I think they're playing against Dortmund in their next match, so seeing Sanchez get another start after the midweek performance seems very unlikely for me. But again, he's at an all-time low, and if you're feeling differently, take a punt on him. As you guys see, we've got tons of options with these one-to-watch cards, millions of options on them. Personally, I feel like Niang's my favourite investment, which is why I picked up so many of him just now. But you guys are all going to have different opinions on who's the go-to guy. I like Jovetic, I like Sanson, I like Niang, I like everybody that I spoke about just now. But have a bit of research, have a bit of your own thinking about it, see who you guys fancy, and then pick up that player for yourselves. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video there. So if you're still enjoying this series, finding it useful, make sure you drop that like, subscribe if you're new, comment with any questions down below. I will reply to you guys. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.